48-21, Colorado with the best win of the Coach Prime era down here in Orlando over Central Florida. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Got to start saying like and subscribe after the games now. What a game. First of all, their best all-around performance easily in 17 games since Coach Prime arrived in Boulder. And I thought it was, quite frankly, their best coached game as well. So not only did they take care of business on the field, but they took care of business preparing for this one and on the sideline. Got a nice little gentle mist here coming from the sprinklers behind me. We'll see if they turn the lights off. I wouldn't be surprised because, you know, UCF's night was done a while ago. Let's just call it what it is. It was all Colorado in this one, except for maybe that first drive, right? Shedeur with the really, you know, a pick he should have never thrown. And then KJ Jefferson responds because Preston Hodge, Ahkello Witherspoon style, picks him off in the end zone. So basically, teams traded picks to start this game, and then we went about our merry way. And Colorado was all the Buffs. It was all Buffs tonight. They got up 21-7. They never really looked back. Really impressive, including the finish to the first half where you're able to tack on 2 field goals. I thought it was really well managed. They checked every box. Shedeur only got sacked twice tonight, one of those later in the game. Offensive line played better. And as far as this rushing attack, look, I think they slowed them down pretty well. When you're talking about 44 carries for 177 net, shoot, I mean, this is a UCF team that comes into the game averaging 375 yards on the ground. Now, I know they played New Hampshire and I know they played Sam Houston State, but this was an important game that you had to come out and slow down the quarterback run. Now, KJ Jefferson did gain 76 net, but I think a good chunk of that came late in this one. He did have a 20-yard burst as well, but I mean, you go down and check off every box, really, for Colorado, and they proved a lot to a lot of people tonight, including myself. I had Central Florida in this game. I just didn't know that they were going to be able to pack up the band and take it on the road and show this well. Well, it was pretty clear all night, at least in this observer's opinion, that there was one team in black and gold that was the better team, and CU showed it, you know, early. I mean, you look at their rushing numbers as well. 29 carries for 128 themselves. Shoot, 100 yards in the Coach Prime era on the ground. You'll take that. Why? Because they're committing to it more, and that's a 29 number. That's a 29 number with only 2 sacks. Didn't have to be 30 times tonight. Didn't have to be 40. Don't have to be one of the best rushing teams in the country. But adding a run game makes a defense play honest, okay? And that's what we've been talking about for a while now. And even Shedeur in the post-game press conference, he reiterated as much. Getting the run game going is helping me out a ton because I can play with the safeties and the linebackers a little bit. And, you know, I asked Coach Prime, I asked Shedeur, Will Shepard, and Cam Silman-Craig if this was the best all-around win, because I believe it was. I don't even think it's a competition, okay? Quite frankly, it's this and then everything else. Like, even the TCU game, great. They put up 45, but it was 45-42. I mean, it's 48-21 tonight. How much more do you want? You almost 50-burgered Central Florida on the road. They were about to coronate UCF as a top 25 team next week. They were a 15, 16-point dog. I don't know what it even closed at, but there was a reason why all week I said to you, I'm not sure that that's the correct line. I think Vegas got that one wrong. One thing I knew for sure was UCF wasn't 15, 14, 16, whatever the hell it closed at. They weren't 14 points better than Colorado. Now, maybe the situation they were in was 14 points better, but truthfully, it absolutely poured before the game. And then, I would say 20 minutes or so till kick, maybe a little bit less, just stopped. Like Mother Nature turned off the faucet, and it was really nice throughout the rest of the game. Now, the field was wet, and I thought slippage might be a problem, but I don't think it really affected anybody tonight at all. Now, Colorado's pass rush, something we got to mention, because that's an area that we've been talking about. Hey, bit of a concern, bit of a red flag. They got to KJ Jefferson 5 times tonight. Really important step forward, okay? Especially because Deion Hayes didn't play. I thought Arden Walker did a great job, not only getting to the quarterback, but containing the quarterback run. So did Nakai Hill-Green. Very important that we mention those guys because that was such a huge focus. Colorado had not slowed down the quarterback run well at all. And then coming into tonight, look, RJ Harvey, you hold him to 77 yards, KJ Jefferson 76, and the next, was 11. I mean, you'll take that all day, every day against a UCF team that if you slow them down on the ground like that, they're just not going to put it in the air. And by the way, how about Kobe Hudson, who's their You know, star receiver who I heard from people all week, honestly. Once I got to Orlando and, you know, kind of talked to some of these locals about UCF. Oh, Kobe Hudson. I said, okay, we'll see. 2 catches, 39 yards. Travis Hunter, just another, and he hit the Heisman tonight. He came down right in that end zone and hit the Heisman tonight after the interception, which was, again, unbelievable play. He breaks off of his man. It's all IQ. It's all a read. Snaps on the ball. It just, what else do you want to say? It is so entertaining to watch this young man play football. And I've had tons of people, especially I would say over like the last 3 weeks, but more like the last 2 weeks, starting to come up to me going, this guy's really that good, huh? I go, that's what we've been trying to say. Caught it. Caught it. Yeah, Travis. Yeah, he's really that damn good. We've been trying to tell you, both sides of the ball. Ain't nobody ever done it like this before. What a dynamo. What a dynamo. I mean, the first touchdown, easy button, too easy. What did he finish with? 9 catches tonight? I think he had like 89 yards, 9 grabs on 9 targets, touchdown, a pick. Dude's unbelievable. Dude's unbelievable. Had another pass breakup, probably should have been an interception, climbed the ladder on the sideline in a ridiculous way. It probably would have been over 100 yards if they didn't rule that his heel was out of bounds, but unbelievable. And tonight was the Will Shepherd game, you know, and I'm sure I'll get back to Travis. What else do you want me to say about Travis? Guy is as good a college football player as I've ever seen. There's just no two ways about it. You know, even Charles Woodson was like, this, I didn't do what this guy's doing. He played 130 snaps. I heard him say that the other day. It's like, yeah, finally, like the legends. Champ's got to stop a little bit. Champ's got to dial it back. And some of these guys got to realize that this dude is a just different breed, okay? Again, Travis is just unbelievable. Will Shepherd finally had his game tonight. 4 balls, 99 yards, the touchdown. Was a really big score, too, to go up 14-7 there. And you know, I thought that was a big-time play by Will to go and lay out partial extension, make the grab, big-time ball on a 3rd and 15. Shedeur just gives his guys a shot. And when you got a receiving core like this, probably a pretty good chance that they're going to end up making some plays for you. Jimmy Horn, 5 balls, 41 yards. I thought he was fine. Had some important plays, though, important catches in those 5 yards. Wester, 3 balls, 34, and a touchdown there at the end on a really nice design play in the second half. I really liked that play. And, you know, this was a huge night for this program. Now, this was a huge night for this program because you've stacked 3 in a row, and you have legit buy-in here. Okay, you can feel it. Guys are buying in more. And that was what Cameron Stillman Craig said after the game. He goes, oh, no. I mean, 3 in a row, we're stacking them. Guys are bought in. And it's clear. Anybody who watched this game knows that this is not the team that we had seen maybe in some areas. And Coach Prime put it the best. He said he's so darn proud. He said, I'm so darn proud for how these guys put it all together. This was the first time tonight, all 3 phases. I don't think they really had any like glaring issues. They coached their asses off. They played their asses off. They executed. I mean, it is a damn near flawless night for Colorado. And 17 games into the Coach Prime era, raise your hand if you're encouraged by the steps that they're trending in, okay? For at least the rest of this season, you told me they'd be 4-1 through the UCF game at the first bye. Who's not signing up for that? Colorado's in a really good spot. And if you think about how they entered the bye this year compared to how they entered the bye last year against Stanford, polar opposite sides of the spectrum. I mean, Stanford, you blow the biggest lead in school history, 29-0 at half, you lose in overtime. This game, almost 50-burger UCF on the road. Hey, times are changing. Times are changing. And I'll say something else. Deion Sanders is becoming a better coach. Point blank, period. Managing the game better. I was watching him specifically. There was no seat for me up in the press box tonight because there's maybe like 30 seats up there, whatever. So it was great view from the field, and I had my eye on Coach Prime a lot tonight, and I thought he was coaching his butt off, man. He did a great job. Some early timeouts in this game that I thought he was just on it. He's just been all over it here. Specifically tonight, and I think the last couple of weeks we're really starting to see some signs of progress in this program, which has to be encouraging, okay, especially long term, but more specifically throughout the rest of the season, because now you get some time off, some downtime, which I think this program needs. Sounds like Trevor Woods will redshirt We found that out after the game officially from Coach Prime. Makes sense. I don't know if he's going to hit the portal or not. I asked Trevor about that, in January. They moved him positions, and, I just didn't think that he was ever going to be their best option, at least for what they're trying to do right now. And I think he understands that maybe there's a better opportunity somewhere else for playing time. To be honest, if I were giving advice to Trevor, it would probably be to lose that weight and transfer as a safety. Unfortunately, I just unless they want to keep him around here, or they've got different ideas for what he could be next year, which I think is possible. A lot of spots open up next year, so if that's the case, he could play that safety position, I'd imagine, unless they're trying to bring somebody else in. I know they just got that commit. But anyway, the point is this. What we just watched is the best three-phase game from Colorado since Coach Prime was hired. They're 4-1 entering the bye week. Now we're going to have 2 weeks of hearing the buzz start to build up again. And next weekend, when everybody goes to watch college football on Saturday, they're clicking through their guide and they're seeing when do the Buffs play? You're going to feel it next week, okay? Everyone, even if you're not a Colorado fan, that CU isn't playing. There was a ton of eyeballs in this game as far as people here. Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, Michael Irvin, T.O., Devin Hester, I mean, you name it. Brandon Marshall, Marcus Jordan, Latavius Murray, UCF brought back everybody. There were so many recruits for this game, that lived up to the billing. And what those recruits got treated to was a monster win for CU's program, okay? And first of all, I love the vibe of this place. I think it's cool. Walking in, it was like a big-ass party in the rain, which you got to love. All the students, a bunch of the guys just ripped their tarps off. Everybody's soaking wet. It's just a cool vibe down here. Now, of course, it's Florida and the humidity is crazy. I cannot wait to step off the plane in Colorado. Just, feel that fresh, crisp air hit me. I'm looking forward to it. I did get to the beach yesterday, though, and that felt good. So beach day, big win, good couple of days for Matt. Just saying. Let's see. Running game, Isaiah Augusta didn't get in the game until the second half, but 4 carries for 41 yards. I think he's their best back. Maybe there's some other issues, and I'm going to have to go back and, pass protection. I think he whiffed a couple times pretty hard against Baylor, but I just think from a running perspective, he needs to probably see a little bit more. Dallin Hayden, he got back into the lineup, had his first touchdown as a Buff, 11 carries, 33. Micah Welch, 5 carries, 33, and a touchdown as well. Colorado with 2 rushing touchdowns. Okay, sign me up. I mean, when you get a big lead and you get the other team off the field, that's how you play this game. And they did tonight. They executed, like I said, no notes. And you got to credit the offensive line for keeping Shedeur upright. UCF only had 1 sack through 3 games entering tonight. One of my biggest concerns was that you were going to turn this team and make them look like a bunch of all Big 12 pass rushers. That would have, kind of would have been par for the course, no? Well, credit that group up front for showing some resilience. Justin Mayers didn't start tonight. Second game in a row he hasn't started. You saw Kareem Harden at right guard, and you saw Phillip Houston back in the lineup at right tackle. Khalil Benson missed the game due to injury. Shiloh potentially back as well after the bye week. Although I'll say this, Carter Stoutmire's played great. He's played great. Taking him off the field is going to be hard, and I know they will, but it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky. Shiloh better be ready. And that might be a good little thing for Shiloh. Hey, look, Carter's right here. It's not like Shiloh would ever get benched, and I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying, hey, always good to have competition, always good to have depth, and always good to have a piece that you can go to if you feel like it. And I'm sure there will be situations, nickel situations, quarter situations that they do end up getting them in there. When Shiloh gets back, we'll see. Time possession, who cares? I'm just saying, we put up 48-21. It was about split down the middle for whatever it's worth. Red zone, 4 of 4. You get inside the 20, you're leaving with points. Very important. And again, the end of the first half situation was managed perfectly. You got 2 field goals off it. Golf clap. Golf clap for managing an end of half situation well. Okay? Coach Prime after the game said, you better give the offensive line all the credit with passion that you normally have when you're ripping them down. So I hope that works, Coach. I hope that works for you. Specifically for him, I really do think he's becoming better as a coach. And I think look, there's a lot going on. And I asked him about that tonight. Is this your most complete win in 17 games here? And he said yes. But he also gave a lot of credit to the coaching staff. Robert Livingston, I mean, are we witnessing the birth of like a legit add water and stir coaching star? I think we could be. I saw him after the game. Big old smile on his face. Just a good dude. I really like Robert Livingston. And Pat Shurmur, I thought tonight was better as the game went along. Certainly CU executed right. And, you know, they had a good game plan. They got Shedeur to the quick game much faster tonight. And Shedeur even said on that one interception, he's got to do a better job of just taking his first read until he sees what the defense is throwing at him, which I think was actually probably part of it. But I just think, you know, Chidozie Nwankwo back in the lineup tonight, he did get a little dinged up, but then he did return. Really impactful, and to slow down R.J. Harvey is a big deal. It's a big deal. I mean, still altogether, he's got like 145 all-purpose yards, which I mean, good for you. But you lose the game 48-21. What does it really mean? And 75 of those yards came on one play on their first touchdown. One play, one score, and you know they tied it up there. So Shedeur 28-35, 290, 3 tuds, only sacked twice, and the interception. I thought tonight he was better tonight than he was even last week at times. He was just clutch, really clutch last week, and of course so was LeJontay Wester. But tonight I thought he was really good, just efficient, not trying to do too much, especially after that first interception. How do you respond to adversity? Well, they stared it in the face, and basically, and I think I even put it out on social media, it's like, hey, that's the worst case scenario start. Shedeur throws a pick when he had no business getting rid of that ball on a third down, and now UCF's in business. Well, Preston Hodge, with a monster play to set the tone defensively, picks off KJ Jefferson, like I said, kind of Witherspoon-esque in the back of the end zone, which was big. Preston Hodge has been balling to start this year, and I told you before the year, he's going to be a star. He is a, I don't know, top 10 corner in college football. He is a really good player. Other things to note, Mata, 2 really big makes. You love to see that from Alejandro. Palazzo got hurt in practice this week, I was told, so Stojanovic did the kicking off. We've been talking. They need to find somebody to kick off. And I thought their kick coverage had been pretty solid. They just had a couple of bad breakdowns against Baylor, which is why I was a little surprised. To me, it felt like overreacting in that moment last week to doing some of the, I think Coach Prime called them bloops or pooches, however you want to call it. Tonight, it was just Stojanovic, kick it as far as you can. And they gave up a couple of longer ones, but they didn't bust anything. I mean, kick returns-wise, UCF had 5 for 107. That's a big number, but they were able, as a defense, to make up for some of those, right? And look, if you're kicking the ball off 5 times, you're scoring, so you'll take that every time. 5 of 11 on third down for CU, 6 of 18 on third down for UCF. What does that tell you? Well, Colorado's not getting into a lot of thirds. They're, you know, converting first and second downs a lot, and I think they did tonight. And when they did get into third down, I mean, they weren't getting sacked in big moments. It was just a complete effort, and you have to be encouraged. And the other thing I'll say about this is you notice, like, the intensity shift this week, and Nick Saban said it so beautifully the other day. He goes, winning while you play bad is the kiss of death, and he was talking about Coach Prime kind of restarting one of the periods in practice. He said, look, I mean, it's a kiss of death when you win, but you don't play well because everybody's kind of riding high on their, you know, on their laurels there, or resting on their laurels, whatever you want to say, riding high on their confidence and their performances. Well, did that look like a team that was overconfident? No, it didn't. No, it didn't. And that tells me that they're doing a really good job locking in, because that's now 3 weeks in a row. You transition, lock in. A running style team that put up 375 yards on the ground per game, and you hold them to, you know, 44 for $177. That is impressive work from Colorado tonight. And altogether, you've got to be encouraged, because Kansas State, right? Kansas State awaits you at home on the other side of the bye, and now you got 2 weeks to prepare for Avery Johnson and your good old buddy Dylan Edwards, and they're coming to Boulder. So that'll be a really, really fun game. Could we see game day for that? I don't know. Maybe. You know, because I watched all this game at field level, I'll definitely have to go back and, you know, kind of comb through things a little tighter on the broadcast. The other part of the reason why is because they don't show a damn replay in this stadium. This stadium, bounce house? Okay. By the way, 2017 national champions, y'all kidding? Y'all not embarrassed to put that up there? That's embarrassing. I'm sorry, dog. I don't care what you are. That's embarrassing. Plain and simple. Anyway, Penalties for Colorado tonight, 10-75, still probably too many. Offensive line probably flagged a few more times than Coach Prime was happy with. One false start from Hank Zielinskis. I think Shedeur saw something at the line, tried to change the play, but Hank just moved that he really didn't like. But either way, 10, probably too many. You got to cut that number down. UCF 7 for 80. Look, all things told, most complete win from all three phases, best coached game, and they're on an upward trajectory. As Coach Prime likes to call it, he came back to the crib and got the dub tonight, right? Really cool crowd too, by the way. Like before the game, I know I kind of, make fun of the bounce house, but before the game it was kind of rocking. Then CU kind of, once Travis scored, I really thought that energy was just sucked out of the building. And look, we've been to Lincoln this year. That was like playing in front of a rock concert. This ain't anything like that. It's a cool little stadium, cool little setup for sure. They do their little thing down here at UCF in Orlando. But tonight, they were not the team that was the better team, nor executed better. That was Colorado. In impressive fashion, the most complete performance of the Coach Prime era as the Buffs moved to 4-1. And oh, by the way, how about this? 2-0 in Big 12 play. More conference wins than they had all last season. Is that 0-2? If I'm looking at you, yeah, 2-0. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see? I'm getting this down, right? Camera's flipped. Got to do it flipped. And not to mention, that's 4-1. They just tied their win total from last year. 7 games left. Probably a pretty good chance they eclipse last year's win total. And Vegas had their over-under at 5.5. So all told, you got to be pretty happy with the state of this program at the moment in time. Thanks for watching. As always, what do we say? Like, subscribe? I think that's right. Matt Smith from Orlando.